Hi guys, it's Mark Zicree, Mr. Sci-Fi, also known as Mark Zicree of Space Command, and many other things. I wanted to talk about money in science fiction, in the real world, all sorts of stuff. First of all, in science fiction, when I was growing up in Heinlein and Asimov and all the great writers I was reading, and in Star Trek, credits were the main way of paying for things. It was 5,000 credits. But in one episode of Star Trek, the gamesters of Triskelion, they had Quatloos, where they were gambling Quatloos, and that became a very fun and favorite way of talking about things in fan circles. And then, of course, in Deep Space Nine, they had gold-pressed Latinum. And when I visited the set to visit my friend Armin Shimmerman on DS9 when it was shooting, he actually reached behind the bar at Quark's and gave me a piece of gold-pressed Latinum, which I have in my collection, and it's signed by Armin, and it's great. It's terrific. I'll have to dig it out at some point and show it to you guys. And, you know, so money is always, you always have to think when you're doing science fiction, are they paying in money? Are they paying in credits? Science fiction generally did not guess that we would use our phones to pay for things or go on the internet and pay for things. And I don't know if they came up with cryptocurrencies at any point in science fiction, maybe in recent times, but I haven't seen it certainly in anything that I was reading as a kid. But also, in terms of money, of course, is needed to shoot things like Star Trek Discovery and the Orville, millions and millions of dollars. You know, Star Trek Discovery is 10 million an episode. Game of Thrones is 15 and up, million per hour. And Space Command, as you know, we've been raising money, and all of that's been going along, and that's not what I'm here to talk about. Essentially, I don't take a salary for Space Command. Maybe that's a mistake. Maybe I'll rectify that in the near future. But I never have. And the reason was because normally what I would charge when I was working for studios and so forth would have taken up too much of the money to make Space Command. And I'm very pleased where we are now. We're continuing to refine the visual effects. We're continuing to sell shares in Space Command, $7,500. Get in touch with me if you want to know about that. But in terms of just what I'm doing, I do have a Patreon account, and what that is used for is to, you know, buy regular stuff and keep going. And if you like what I'm doing with Mr. Sci-Fi, I've come up with something interesting, which is you can, if you want a signed copy of the new edition of the Twilight Zone Companion, if you go on my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/Mark Zicree, with Mark with a C, if you pledge $10 a month to my Patreon page, I will send you, email me your address, and I will send you a signed copy of the new Twilight Zone Companion. I don't have infinite copies, but I'm happy to send that to you, and I'm very proud of it, and it has audio and video links where you can listen to stuff and watch stuff. I interviewed Rod's daughter. You can listen to that interview. I interviewed George Takei recently. You can watch that. I'll be interviewing Jordan Peele and putting the link up on that page, and so it's going to be pretty amazing. So again, Patreon, is a site where you can basically throw a few dollars to various creators to encourage them, to allow stuff to be possible. And I'm posting on Mr. Sci-Fi every week. I do it for fun. I do it for you guys. It's not something designed to support me. But every little bit helps. And so that's about it. We're going to be launching a new crowdfunding campaign to shoot more of Space Command Forgiveness. You guys have spoken, and it's over 99% positive about doing that, so I'm very gratified. And Kickstarter has emailed me back, my friends at Kickstarter, and they're very eager to have another campaign. Meantime, we're continuing to refine the visual effects, to screen the pilot at various conventions the first hour, then move to the second hour and continue that. Just talked to a visual effects artist in Bahrain who is eager to get to work on helping us with Space Command, and that's very cool. This is a project that the world has made, and I very much welcome that, the contributions of everyone from everywhere. If you want to make spacesuits, we've got the spacesuit contest going. You can find another video here at Mr. Sci-Fi about that. And also, if you go to spacecommandseries.com, you can find the rules for the spacesuit contest. The prizes are really cool. And that's about it for now. So thanks very much for everything. Just a short one this time. But if you want to throw some dollars or credits or Quatloos or cold-pressed Latinum my way, I will absolutely thank you and be grateful. And and we continue on. Life is very, very good, and that's because of you guys and because of this wonderful medium that we get to enjoy of science fiction and fantasy and horror. And yesterday I went to a gallery show of the paintings from Night Gallery, and it was quite amazing to see and wonderful stuff. And the artists who made some of these things were there, and I hadn't seen them in person. I'd seen a few of them in person, but not that many of them. And it was great to look at that. And there was one painting that even had a portrait of Rod hidden within it, and that was really cool to see. And then I dropped by Bill Stout's house to get him to sign, actually to sign this copy of the Space Command comic where he did the cover. Bill Stout is a very famous comic book artist, and you look right there, he says, "Space Command Forever, William Stout." So that was really fun. And there's also a book out of his career, of his entire career. Oh, look at Space Command is falling. But there's a great book on his career that I highly recommend, and he signed that to me as well. So it's so wonderful to be able to collaborate with these great, great artists and great, great people. And so that's about it for now. Feel free to reach out to me at markzicree@gmail.com or 323-363-1259, and we'll be posting very soon about the history of science fiction film. I'm writing the brochure now, a very lengthy brochure, for the limited release 60th anniversary Twilight Zone Blu-ray that's coming out in the UK. That's going to be quite cool. I can't talk about some of the things we're doing, but it's going to be really, really cool. So that's about it for now. We'll talk soon, and thanks, guys, for everything. Bye-bye.